bowl season is here. Are you ready to cash in on what you know? Where you play is as important as what you play. The pros play at mybookie.ag. All the lines, odds, and plays, both college and pro, all at mybookie.ag. Play where you get paid super fast and there's never a hassle. Step up and mybookie.ag will match your deposit with up to a 50% bonus. Use promo code JJ50 to activate the offer. Don't leave the money on the table. mybookie.ag, promo code JJ50, and your first deposit is matched up to 50%. Play where the pros play because they get paid. mybookie.ag.
And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head the dirt. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
Welcome to Jalen Jacoby in for Jalen Anthony Rose. It's my friend, colleague, Amin El Hassan. Thank you so much for doing this, Amin.
No problem.
This will be the last Jalen and Jacoby of 2018, and we figured what better way to end it than without Jalen Rose. This is the show I really want to do. The Boston Celtics head into Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
With the best record in the Eastern Conference.
Sure.
They start the game playing great defense on Kristaps Porzingis. He goes 0 for 11, Kristaps does. This is going to be a win for the Celtics, right? Forgot about Bees. Michael Beasley dropped 32 points on the Celtics, and he was doing that thing where he scored on 3 straight possessions, and you knew he was going to get the ball again, you knew he was going to take a bad shot, and you knew he was going to make it. He was barking at everybody, he was barking at the crowd, and the crowd chanted MVP at Michael Beasley just a week after they gave him a standing ovation for fouling out in 10 minutes.
Yes.
Michael Beasley, like Lance Stevenson in Indiana, he's just become one with the New York Knicks franchise.
It's all about lowered expectations. Right? Michael Beasley, number 2 overall pick.
High expectations.
Right? Michael Beasley. Hey, we picked him up on a scrap heap. Hey, he's out there getting buckets.
He was pretty good on the Bucks last year. Look, he's quietly proficient on the Bucks.
You know how to make Michael Beasley a good player? You have to boil down his responsibilities to the bare minimum.
Just get the ball and score?
Yes. Don't expect defense. Don't expect making other people better, the extra pass.
Who do I cover, Coach? The worst player on the floor, not in your uniform. That's who, Beast. That's who you cover.
And covering him is just being in his general vicinity.
Yes. Don't get a defensive 3 seconds. That's all we ask of you.
Look, so much like Lance Stevenson. Lance Stevenson, I want $60 million from Indiana. Indiana's like, heck no. Lance Stevenson, I'm here for pennies on the dollar. I love you.
Well, the thing about Lance Stevenson, I love Lance Stevenson, is Larry Bird quietly gave him like the presidential pardon before you leave office thing. Like it was like the last deal that Larry Bird did, and he was just like, we'll give him a 2-year deal. And everyone's like, no big deal. Larry's in charge. And then he's like, oh, by the way, I'm resigning. It's like, oh, okay.
Have fun with all that.
The Celtics lost 2 in a row. You take anything from that?
A little bit regression to the mean. I'm not saying, I obviously expect them to be either 1 or 2 in the conference when it's all said and done, but I also don't expect them to be elite, in the same breath as the Rockets and the Warriors, or even, the Spurs, really. So I think they're coming back down to earth, but earth for them is still a very lofty place.
Well, you mentioned the Rockets, and Daryl Morey, who is one of my favorite general managers in the league, he declared that finally getting past the reigning NBA championships is what he's obsessed with. He said, quote, I think I'm not supposed to say that, but we're basically obsessed with how do we beat the Warriors. He said that on Ryan Russillo's show on ESPN Radio. I mean, could this be the year? Could this be the year that the Rockets beat the Warriors?
Could it be? Sure. Could anything could
Will
happen.
This be the year that the Rockets beat the Warriors?
Probably not. And here's why. My buddy Brian Windhurst says this all the time.
Shout out.
Margin of error, right? Great teams have a larger margin of error than not so great teams, right? Not so great teams need everything to go right, and then they can win. Great teams, I can have a couple of things go wrong and still end up winning. The Warriors have the largest margin of error in the history of the game. They can have a lot of things go wrong and still win.
You mean like have Zaza out, Nick Young out, Steph out, and Draymond Green out, and still go on a win streak?
Exactly, right? But everyone's got an end of that margin, as do the Warriors. They won 73 games and were unstoppable, but if you have Steph pull a groin slipping on a wet spot, and you have Draymond suspended, and you have Bogut miss a couple of games for injury, and you have Andre Iguodala pull his back, and you have Harrison Barnes play the worst 7 games in basketball history, and you have LeBron James having the greatest defensive play in the history of the game, and you have Kyrie Irving hitting one of the most clutch shots in the NBA Finals history, and then you have Kevin Love stopping Steph Curry one-on-one.
Yes.
If all of those stars and moons and planets align,
next thing you know, you have the Cavaliers in Vegas partying.
Exactly. And so when you say, could the Rockets unseat the Warriors? Absolutely. It's going to take maybe not that many factors to happen, but that level of kind of, wow, we had a lot of things break our way, and when it happened, we were good enough to take advantage, because that's the other part of the equation.
Do you appreciate Daryl Morey's honesty and transparency in this? Because a lot of GMs would say, we're focused on our team, and we're just trying to build the best team to compete.
When you're in their position, you have to be obsessed with the Warriors. Because we're not talking about the Sixers, we're not talking about the Knicks, we're not talking about even the Timberwolves. Hey, we're just trying to get better every day, da-da-da. These guys are in it to win a championship right now, right? Cavs are the same way. You think the Cavs aren't obsessed with the Warriors? You think LeBron's not obsessed with the Warriors? Of course they are. Because that's who you gotta beat. To be the man, you gotta
beat the man.
There you go.
LeBron is obsessed with the Warriors. Also, weirdly obsessed with getting something for his daughter during a National Basketball Association.
Hi, Mama. It's time to play the match game. You want candy? Pose. You got candy on you? You got candy on you? Get after my daughter.
A couple things about this. Who carries candy on them?
You got candy on you?
Who's got like a Snickers bar? Like, Lamar Odom, I suppose. Lamar Odom.
To be fair, the equipment manager usually has this massive Tupperware bowl of all types of stuff: bubble gum, mints,
sort of like when you go to like a strip club bathroom, like that.
Yes.
Like, it's kind of like that.
Yes,
it's just like cigarettes. He's got Lucy's. He's got
right
cologne.
behind the bench. Cologne, exactly. Because you want to smell good for the strippers.
Yes, of course.
But yeah. So to be fair, so it's not that crazy of a request of, do we have any candy?
Yes, it is. He's going around.
No.
Do you have candy? Do you have candy?
The crazy part
I don't have candy, LeBron James.
The crazy part is when he escalates from the trainer or the locker room guy to like the assistant. Vitaly Potapenko is like,
it's like I don't have candy.
We don't have candy in Ukraine.
Yes,
right?
but if you want to drop a play, like we can do that.
But the other thing is this: how would your wife react to you giving the child candy when you're not the one watching the child?
I like that. Yeah, because you're going to have a sugared up child.
Yeah.
It's
have fun with
in
that.
public and just be like, say thank you. That part where he just wants his credit for it. He wants his points for getting the candy. Also, something tells me that they have decent seats. And something tells me that
something tells you he could hear her talking.
Yeah, if somebody needed to provide candy to the James family, perhaps LeBron shouldn't be the point of contact in that mission. Just throwing it out there.
No. Because the point isn't candy. The point is, there's daddy. Daddy, can you give me something? And daddy gives you something, whatever it is. That's the point. And that's the cool thing. I'm just saying, though, as a parent, I know that the other parent in the equation who is forced to watch the child while I'm out here playing a game.
Exactly.
Playing a child's game,
does not want
the extra
candy.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I'm so happy, I feel like I can fly.
Disclaimer, you will not be able to fly by switching to Geico. This is against the laws of physics and nature. If you find yourself flying, please seek professional and or medical help immediately. In the unlikely event you find yourself flying, you might be a superhero, or a pigeon, or a superhero named Pidgewoman, who was bitten by a radioactive pigeon. If you are indeed Pidgewoman, Geico retains all licensing publishing rights in the event Pidgewoman the movie becomes a top-grossing Hollywood blockbuster.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
In for Jalen is Amin Al-Hassan, which means a lot of things. Number one, it means I have a co-host who's going to actually listen to the words I say. Right? So segments like this are going to go a lot smoother.
Okay.
Watch this. We're going to breeze through this weekend. Got about 9 minutes.
Okay.
We're going to go through all the football games, all the relevant basketball games, movies, everything. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Colts, Ravens. Ravens still not fully out. It's a Saturday game, 4:30. Do you care?
No.
Yeah, I don't care either. Let's move on. Vikings at Packers.
No.
Vikings can clinch the first round bye with a win and a Panthers loss. This could be interesting. The Packers completely bungled everything by playing Aaron Rodgers last week, just like I knew they would, and I knew they would lose, and they lost, and now all of a sudden he's back on the IR. The whole thing was ridiculous, and it's like, who would have thought that was going to happen?
This game went from meaningful to meaningless very quickly.
Do you care about this one?
No.
Saturday, no football for me. I love it. Dolphins and Chiefs, don't care. Chiefs can clinch the AFC West with a win or a Chargers loss. So the Chiefs are motivated.
Okay. Maybe?
Okay.
Maybe.
This is the Buccaneers at the Panthers. The Panthers can clinch a playoff berth with a win, which they will.
This is a whooping that's about to happen.
The Panthers -10 is the spread on that.
Post-game press conference will be more interesting.
You gamble on sports?
I do not.
I don't gamble on sports either.
No.
I'm sure I would enjoy it, which is why I don't do it.
I don't enjoy gambling.
Really?
No,
I love gambling.
No, it's not.
Blackjack?
No, man. Yeah, I never tell you the story? Real quick story. First time I gambled, Summer League, went with the training staff. Like, you don't gamble, you got to do this. Mm-hmm. So we go there, go to blackjack table, $10 hand. Give them $100. I lose. And within 15 minutes, I'm done. I'm like, what was the point of that? How is this supposed to titillate me in any way? And
it's a lot more fun winning than losing.
Yeah,
it's a lot more fun winning than losing. Yep. You should come with me.
Okay.
We'll win some cards. Lions at the Bengals. The 538 gives the Lions a 14% chance to make the playoffs. People listening to this show care about the Lions. People that are on this show care about the Lions. I think the Lions win. Just to keep the thing going. Just to keep the Lions going.
Alive?
Yeah. I think the Lions win this game in Cincinnati. Next, we have the Bills at the Patriots. The Bills, like, sneaky, kind of, sort of, could back their way into the playoffs. This is a competitive game from both sides. What do you think will happen?
Oh, I think we're going to have some fireworks, aren't we? Because this is the first...
This is the Gronk thing.
This is the Gronk thing, and this is also the first game Brady's had to play after Dr. Gate, so...
Oh, right, Dr. Gate.
Yeah, man, that's a big thing.
What do you think about Dr. Gate?
You know, it's I should say Trainer Gate, because he's not a doctor.
Good point. Yeah, I think that was part of it.
You know, it's weird because the guy has an office. Like, we've had outside team employees come and work with guys. You know, Steve Nash had his guy, Rick, I don't remember Rick's last name, but would come from Canada once every couple of months and help him and stuff. But to have an office, an actual office in the facility.
Key card.
Right? Like, that goes beyond flying on a plane, man. This dude has an office. That's kind of
an extension. Yeah. He's got to be listed on the phone list.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like he's in the coffee room. Like, he's around. He basically works for the team.
And now he doesn't.
The thing about this is, I'm going to read way too much into this and do the media thing.
Of course. How do you not?
I feel like this guy's eating off Tom Brady. The whole TB12 thing.
Oh, yeah.
And like the idea that Tom Brady's now an author, and you can go to TB12 and buy like workout bands with Tom Brady's logo on it, and this whole lifestyle he's pushing, and the cookbook. And it's kind of like, I don't think these are Tom's ideas. I don't think he wakes up in the morning and be like, I want to be an author. I think he wakes up in the morning and be like, I want to be a great quarterback. And somebody else is like, you should write a book.
So after Allen Houston had retired, he entertained briefly trying to make a comeback. He came to Phoenix and would come work out with our trainers in the offseason, trying to like...
Phoenix like notoriously has a great training staff.
Great training staff, right. Yeah. So he had this guy with him. And we're like, oh, hey, what's up, man? Yeah, my name's this. Like, oh, who are you to Allen? I'm thinking like his manager. He's like, I'm a shooting coach. And I laughed. I thought it was a joke. And then the guy looked at me and like, oh, you're serious? You're Allen Houston shooting coach.
Yeah, one of the best shooters in the league, too.
Right? Like, best shooter, like, from the womb.
Yes.
Like, what does that entail right now? Like, what about, like, I'm Steph Curry's shooting coach? So that's just grabbing it out the net and throwing it back to him. Allen Houston shooting coach, right?
Okay.
Allen Houston shooting coach. Bro,
sometimes you just need like a buddy around. You know what I mean?
Don't call yourself
sometimes
a shooting.
You just want the support. You want the buddy.
I'm his buddy.
Shooting coach is good. Brief story. My friend, who sometimes appears in this program, Ben Dietrich, once did like some weird camp with Allen Houston. Yeah. And Allen Houston gave him a couple pointers on his shot. Next time he played pickup, didn't miss.
Really?
And it lasted for like 3 weeks. It was just like Allen Houston would just like touch him on the shoulder and was like, "You will make buckets, my son," and he couldn't miss. But then he regressed to the mean.
Regressed into the mean. There you go.
Moving on with the meaningless NFL schedule. Falcons at the Saints. This is a thing. That's a game I could watch.
That's a game.
That's a game. We've got the 9-5 Falcons. The Saints are 10-4. The Saints can clinch a playoff berth with a win. The Falcons can clinch a playoff berth with a win. That's a good legit game.
So this is a playoff game.
I'll watch that game.
This is a playoff game because you win this.
That'll be the television that I pay most attention to in the bar. In the bar. Because for the early games, I like to go to a bar around 12:30.
Okay.
Just to watch them all at once. Because Red Zone mainlining football just isn't for me, I've learned.
But Red Zone kind of cuts out the parts of the game that you don't really care about.
Of course, but I've noticed. You ever read a book and you're like, I read the last 4 pages, but they didn't get into my brain?
Exactly.
That's what happens to me with Red Zone. If I could sit there in front of Red Zone for 45 minutes, not say a word, just watching the screen, and someone walks in the room and says, what's happening in football today? I'd be like, a lot of touchdowns, a lot of different colors, but I don't really know. It was entertaining. Yeah. I liked it. We have the Chargers at the Jets. Chargers, it was fun, Chargers, but you're 7-7.
You think so? You think this is... I think there's a lot, man.
I don't know.
Phillip Rivers has one last drive in him.
I don't think so.
No?
I really don't. I think they'll beat the Jets, but I think that it's not going to work out for them. The Rams can clinch by beating the Titans. The Titans can clinch a playoff berth with a win and a Buffalo or a Ravens loss. That's a bit of a game.
Yeah, that's a game. Some stakes. That's some stakes.
Rams could be 11-4 at the end of this week.
How about that, man?
Because I jump on bandwagons. I'm not like a real fan.
Especially the local.
I'm a bandwagon jumper.
Got to.
Oh, yeah. I jumped right on the Rams bandwagon early. Yeah. Early. Late games. Jaguars are going to beat the 49ers. No one cares. The Seahawks and the Cowboys is interesting. They're both 8-6. Zeke returns.
Wait, hold on. Jaguars and Niners. I don't think we should gloss over that.
We're glossing over. Oh, Jimmy Garoppolo,
Garoppolo has been
Jimmy
tremendous.
G's never lost as a starter in his life.
He's
handsome.
He simultaneously saved and ruined their season, right? Like, they were going through a great pick. But also, Blake Bortles claims he's okay with being trash. Because, Jadeveon Clowney called him, he's still trash.
I loved it. 45-7, he called him trash.
Yeah.
What I loved even more, Jacksonville Jaguars fans are sending trash cans to NRG Stadium to Jadeveon Clowney's attention, which I absolutely love. I love a good troll job. And to me, that is one of the best. Monday Night Football. We have 2 games on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing.
I got a problem with this.
NFL,
I know this is weird.
NFL.
Because this is NFL, a partner. This is our product.
NFL, there's no games. We don't put games on Thursday.
Yeah, we
don't put Thanksgiving. You don't see a lot of basketball games. There's a reason for that.
Back the hell up. That's
somewhere
the first
Adam
thing
Silver's like, get off my corner. This is my corner. We do the Christmas thing.
Yeah.
Christmas is an NBA holiday. It's an NBA holiday. I might just not watch these games on the strength. Maybe when there's a commercial in the other games. Yeah, I love Christmas Day in the NBA.
Yeah, man. It's like that's.
Maybe we'll do that for a segment. Let's look at the Christmas Day schedule.
Yeah.
In the National Basketball Association, and we'll go through those. But very briefly, do you care about these movies? The Post with Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep. Don't even know that existed. Not even aware of it.
It's like a spotlight type of movie. Yes, I know exists, and yes, I want to see it.
85% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, well, it's a Spielberg movie.
I like a nice Rotten Tomato number. I'm like, all right, now a lot of people saw this and they co-signed it, so I'll go see it. Yeah. When you have 3 kids, I'm not going to the opening night.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, enough people need to come back to me and say, this is worth the date night. When Mad Max came out, everyone came back and said, this is a great movie, you will love it. So we went on date night, did that. Nothing worse than a wasted date night movie.
I'm just thinking about it. I don't watch movies that I don't watch with my kids, so yeah, I want to watch The Post. I'm going to watch it when it comes on Netflix or on a plane.
Yeah, on a plane. That's the only time I see movies, and I fall asleep halfway through. The Shape of Water.
Also heard of it. It's getting great reviews. I thought it looked kind of dumb.
Dumb title.
It's a dumb premise too,
and
by the way.
I'm about to say something.
It's a dumb premise.
I kind of love the Pitch Perfect franchise. I love the Pitch Perfect movies. I love the Step Up movies.
Cultural.
I love the Step Up movies. Step Up's not cultural.
Cultural.
Pitch Perfect is cultural. Pitch Perfect is definitely cultural.
Thank you, Reg, by the way.
My wife doesn't even like Pitch Perfect. Dale Strawberry, Mets legend, went on Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz asked him about his sex addiction and his practice of having sex before, after, and during baseball games. Let's listen.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy lifestyle, in the middle of games, I would go between innings and stuff like that and run back and, have a little party going on. And, I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, that's just the addiction.
So he would apparently point out potential sex partners in the crowd and then meet them in the clubhouse. I have so many questions about the logistics of this.
I'm going to call BS on this one.
It just seems like what young lady is just at the Mets game, you know what I mean, Queens, took the 7 train out there and gets tapped on the shoulder and is like, would you like to have 2 minutes of sex with Dale Strawberry while he's waiting to go on bat? And be like, no, I'm good. I'm just going to stay right here. Can I get a free hot dog or something though?
Yeah. This is the Wilt Chamberlain 100,000 women thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like saying, it was a crazy time. And you say things to exaggerate just to drive home the point. We did crazy things, but not every crazy thing. Now, by the way, this wouldn't be the first time we've heard of professional athletes having sex in the locker room area on a game day, but usually that's post game, right?
Have you ever heard of that in the National Basketball Association?
Yes.
Are you willing to name names right now?
I don't think this is even a secret. The idea is that the forum had a room.
Really?
Yes.
The Lakers Showtime Forum.
Yes, they had a room.
Showtime wasn't just on the court.
Yes, for Showtime that extended after the final buzzer.
Somewhere there's a guy named Kevin who had to clean that room.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And Kevin came home every night so mad. He was so mad.
What did they draft him from Times Square?
Kevin?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Perhaps
Kevin got some tips.
Yeah.
Perhaps Kevin got some tips. Let's move on before we get fired.
Yeah.
It's the holiday season. Mm-hmm. People are giving, and people get things for their colleagues. I've made it very clear that I was not getting anything for my colleagues, so they do not need to get me anything.
There you go. Reciprocity.
They did guilt me into buying them lunch today, which is fine.
That's fine.
Which is fine.
That's easy. No thought in that.
John Wall doesn't have this policy. John Wall gave his teammates $40,000 Rolexes.
John Wall couldn't afford it.
I can imagine that he got a discount. But if these were at face value, that's $640,000 of Rolexes for the teammates. Is that too much?
Point guard.
Is that too much?
He's a giver.
He's distributing?
He's taking care of his guys, man.
Here's the thing. Happiness is a function of expectation.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like he's setting the expectations too high for next year.
Right. Next year.
Because next year, Kelly Ouber's be like, I wonder what John's going to get us this year.
You get a $25 Target gift card.
I wonder what John's going to get us this year. And then he comes back with like, hey, I got you a Starbucks gold card. You can use this in the app. Plug it in. It'll be fine.
It's funny, man. Much like you bought lunch, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's because lunch is, it's pennies.
It's not a big deal.
Jacoby household.
Something I can do.
For him, I think it's the same thing.
No, it's not. $640,000 is not, no. That's a large home. $649 is a large home with like a pool.
Where?
In the suburbs.
Not in
In
DC.
the suburbs, you can have a lawn that you need a ride-on lawnmower, a pool, and you can have a basketball sport court for $640,000.
Now you're talking about...
You're like an hour outside the city. Yeah, you're an hour outside the city. You're like by the airport.
Manassas or something.
Yeah, the planes come down and almost land on your sport court. But still. I think that's way too much. That's way too much to give.
It is a little
Kristaps Porzingis gift for his teammates. Timberland boots. Little customized Timberland boots. It's embracing New York City. It's about a $90, $100 value. It's perfect right down the middle.
Hey, he's signing
down the middle.
He's signing an Adidas deal, man. The least he could do is get some Yeezys or some hard to obtain stuff.
I guess so.
Don't get me some.
You know what's annoying about that is you had to go around and get everyone's size. That's the thing.
No,
that's annoying.
No, you don't.
A trainer has that.
Equipment manager's got it all. So.
That's a really good point. Yeah. The day starts early in the morning for us on the West Coast, 9 a.m. Kids are done opening presents, playing with their toys. I finally get to sneak off into my bedroom, close the door behind me, maybe even lock it.
You get privacy during the day?
Yeah, because the toys take up the kids, And then there's aunties to take up the wife. And then I sneak off into my sports chamber, and I will be watching the 76ers and the Knicks. The Knicks are 17 and 14. The 76ers 14 and 17. We spoke about it earlier. It was so much fun talking about the bright future of the 76ers until they started losing and losing and losing again. What do you expect to see from this contest for what could be a battle for the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference?
I think it's going to be a fun game.
Okay.
You got some fun players here. You got
Embiid's playing, right? I think he is.
We hope.
I think he is.
He's questionable, I believe. But Porzingis, Beasley... and remember, this is going to be a home game, so the Garden crowd is already primed and ready.
Getting bees ready.
Simmons. I mean, this is going to be a fun. This is like a fun, it's nice that that's also the first game of the day because, hey, in a few years, this could be
a thing.
Yeah, it could be a thing. So
the noon start in the Madison Square Garden is never a very lively event. It's one thing I've learned about. Maybe Christmas will change that because people will be up and kind of done with the tree and taking their kids to the game and such. But I've been to so many Sunday 1 o'clock games in the Garden where I'm just like, is anybody else here?
Yeah.
Even the players seem kind of sluggish. It just kind of throws things off. Yes. And we have to admit that NBA players are creatures of habit. Mm-hmm. In the NFL, they have very structured weeks. But NBA players are not used to starting at noon, especially on the East Coast. And that could affect the quality of this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird feeling even working for the team. I didn't like early games. I had coworkers who loved it because then we get to go home early.
Sure.
But I just never felt that trade-off because whenever I come home from a game, I'm so drained emotionally. It's not like I have the whole rest of the day to do stuff.
Let's go get some dinner reservations and hang out.
I'm shut down pretty much by the end of the game, so... I can feel why it'd be sluggish, but I think being the Christmas game, it's kind of marquee, it's a little different, a little extra.
So, the Knicks are better than they were last year.
Yes.
That's a fact.
Yes.
And they've got Enes Kanter instead of Carmelo Anthony, which is basically what it boils down to.
Right.
How are they better? I've watched the team and they're a winning team in the Eastern Conference, which is a weaker conference, but there's a lot of Kyle O'Quinn, there's a lot of Jarrett Jack. Right. It's not just Hardaway Jr. and Kristaps Porzingis.
Right. So part of it is, first of all, defensively they're way better than they were a year ago.
That's a good point.
And obviously Enes Kanter isn't anyone's idea of Bill Russell.
No.
But you got to remember, the Knicks didn't just lose Carmelo Anthony. They also lost Derrick Rose, who was
good point.
Brutal defensively. And in his place, you're playing Frank Ntilikina, you're playing Ron Baker, you're playing Jarrett Jack. You're playing guys who at least are going to try defensively.
Yes.
And so that's a massive upgrade right there. The other thing also is just the idea that you're giving possessions that were going to these two guys to now they're going to Kristaps Porzingis, and he basically was an underutilized asset last year. And so now you're utilizing him at more optimal levels, you're getting better results.
Yeah, I quietly, Frank Ntilikina.
Yeah.
Nah, jumping out of the box.
But I think
his career high is 13 points.
Yeah, no, but that's not, I don't think that's what it said on the bill of goods when you got him. Especially as a
fair. He was pitched as a sort of defensive ball mover.
Right, yes.
But,
and he's done that.
Yeah.
He's done it's kind of like
13,
Lonzo Ball.
13 points.
Like it's the same thing with Lonzo Ball. It's like, oh, he's shooting terrible. Like, well, he wasn't, that wasn't on the bill of goods.
Exactly.
That wasn't on the packaging.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I think it was Jalen who compared him to Ricky Rubio at the draft and got a lot of backlash.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, he's more Rubio than Jason Kidd.
And by the way, being Rubio's
in his 12th year or whatever.
But Rubio as a rookie was really good.
Yes.
I mean, and I don't think that's a slight, right, to call him that. Can he be better? Sure. He can be better. But that's not a slight to say that's the kind of player he is.
He's 20 years old.
Yep.
He's 20 years old. Developing. That game will be fun. Every game will be fun. And then the 3 o'clock Cavs Warriors. Too early in the day, guys.
Yeah.
Who does this?
Well, we do this.
But it's in Oakland.
Yeah, that means.
But why the 3 o'clock? Like, don't you think the 5:30 or the 8 o'clock would be a better spot for that game in Oakland?
I don't claim to know the
magic of how this works. I actually should know. I am a television producer.
Exactly, yeah.
I've been in sports television my entire career.
Let me tell you guys something. We have this website internally where you can look up any employee and the company says what their title is.
Yes.
There's only one person who has 2 profiles.
Yes.
David Jacoby, because there's a David Jacoby, the talent, and then there's David Jacoby, the producer. And this is what I learned about David Jacoby when we all had to go to the all-talent meeting.
Why am I nervous?
David Jacoby picks and chooses which David Jacoby he is. I had to be a
producer that day.
Yes, exactly.
I had to be a producer that day.
All of a sudden.
I had to be a producer that day. It also, not that anybody cares, but I have to do the compliance stuff twice, apparently.
Oh, no way!
Yeah, so they keep sending me emails like, you need to do your compliance. Like a real suit, like a real executive called me up, was like, you need to do your compliance. And I was like, first of all, I've done my compliance. There's 2 me's out there.
Yeah.
But let's move on. Back to the Cavs Warriors. A little bit more important than my compliance training. Very interesting compliance training. They have a fake office. You click on these different rooms. It's great. Cavs Warriors. No Steph Curry. Wardell's not going to be there.
And no Isaiah Thomas. This game is going to be boring.
It's
2 MVP candidates gone. How many more could possibly still be playing?
MVP candidates are there? Yes. I think Draymond will be back. Draymond and Zaza were playing like 3-on-3 or half court or something. So Draymond will be there because I always like to see the Draymond LeBron thing happen.
Absolutely.
And it does kind of bother me because I know they're like good friends off the floor,
And
but
business partners, by the way.
Exactly. So it's like, that there's no real beef there, but there's always a little spice between those 2 loud, strong, talented individuals.
It's like me and Marcellus Wiley.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not like that. It's not like that. It's not like that. But this is the game where it's like I need to find myself into a real nice 2-hour chunk of time where I can spend the rest of the day with the family.
You need to send them out.
I'm watching.
They need to be out of the house.
Yes, No, I might be out of the house. To be honest with you,
that's easier. I guess
removing me is a lot easier than taking the kids away from the toys. But 3 o'clock Eastern, Cavs Warriors finals rematch. Do you think it will be the finals rematch preview?
Yes,
I think so too. Yeah. I think we're going to have 4 straight Cavs Warriors finals.
I think so.
I'm excited about it. How bad is Steph's ankle? Should I be worried? He'll be back. He's fine, right?
No, but I mean, obviously he got hurt, but Steve Kerr's whole thing this year has been, we don't care what the league says. We're going to rest our guys. We've learned our lesson. We're not going to push our guys pedal to the metal. If you remember the Oklahoma City game, Kevin Durant played, and because he convinced Steve Kerr he was fine, and Steve Kerr said after, I wish I hadn't played him. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't have played him. And so
I remember.
I think that everything is going to be extra cautious because, again, when you have the luxury of multiple MVPs on your team, you
can do that.
You can do that. You can sit one of them and say you're not going to play for 10 straight games, and we'll be fine. Jeez.
The Wizards have the same record as the Knicks.
Dude, that's what I was going to say about the Heat earlier. Man, I just remember now. I picked the Heat to win the Southeast Division at the beginning of the year. And as underachieving as the Heat have been, they're like a game and a half. Or like, I don't know, like,
the Wizards are 17-14. Wizards are 17-14. Celtics 26-9. What's gone wrong for the Wizards this year? Too many Rolexes?
It's the same thing, man. They're underachieving team. Career underachieving team.
It is. It's like, yeah, they're the Wizards. You know, they're going to be the 3 or 4 seed.
No, they're not going to be the 3
seed.
They're not going to be the 3 seed. Dude.
Oh, yeah, the Raptors are going to be the 3 seed.
Yeah. Like, this is what they do. The 4 seed is like their ceiling.
Yes.
And then they get that first round win, and you're like, oh!
And you feel good about it.
Because they're playing really well. And then they play against the Cavs, and they lose. And then, all right, that was nice.
Yep. Rockets Thunder.
Oh, that's a good one.
Playoff series was like,
Yeah, it might be a 1-8.
Yeah.
It might be a 1-8 matchup.
I think the Thunder win this game. Throwing it out there. Because this reminds me of the Warriors-Thunder game. You remember that game when it just seemed like the Thunder completely figured it out, like blew out the Warriors?
Right.
It's going to be one of those like bright lights, let's really try Thunder games where they beat the Rockets.
Especially CP's not playing.
CP has got the abductor thing, so I predict a Thunder win here. And then finally, the nightcap.
Oh, the marquee game.
You're sleepy at this point. A lot of day drinking on Christmas.
Yeah.
You know?
Eggnog.
Yeah, eggnog. Switch it. Is eggnog cultural?
Well, I just had some for the first time today, so yes.
So yes, that was cultural. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Timberwolves, Lakers.
Good game.
I'm into it.
Good game.
The Lakers are really fun to watch.
They are.
They're really fun to watch. And they've pushed the Warriors into overtime. They beat the Rockets. Kuz scored 38 points.
Yeah.
Things are happening for the Lakers.
And things are happening for the Timberwolves, too. After a rough start to the year, they've seemingly got their act together. They still, I think, are underachieving what people expect them to be, but, yeah.
Blue Moon is brewed with Valencia orange peel and a touch of coriander. It's a creative twist on a Belgian-style wheat ale for a taste that shines brighter. Taste responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Amin El-Hassan in for Jalen Rose. I mean, there's a couple things I want to talk to you about. There's a theme I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay.
It is the fake good start. And then the slow crawl back to reality. Because we've seen it now.
It's called,
there's a few teams.
It's called regressing to the mean. That's the technical
it's a few teams. Like, remember we were all so excited about the Pistons? You remember the Eastern Conference Pistons, the number 2 in the Eastern Conference?
I'll do you one better than that. Remember when the Orlando Magic were a thing?
Oh, and the 76ers. And the Grizzlies were even. Remember the Grizzlies had a little hot start there. It's like, can they sustain this? You know? So I want to go through these case by case and sort of get your prognosis.
I like this game.
You'd be a doctor.
Yes.
You know, you could tell me what the problem is and how you would fix it. But I want to start with sort of the sexiest, which is everyone fell in love with the Sixers this year, myself included.
Yep.
I absolutely fell in love with them. Ben Simmons, I think, is going to be a superstar. I love the way he plays basketball. I don't care that he doesn't shoot. Joel Embiid is obviously Joel Embiid. They're the internet darling.
Yes.
And everyone's talking about them. The big game in LA, the game against the Warriors. Yep. And then quietly, they just lose 8 of 10 games and no one even mentions it.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Well, I think there's several things. First of all, we have to keep in account that Embiid has not been as available in those things.
No.
That coincides.
Another thing
right?
no one's really talking about either.
Right? So, again, this goes back to there was never, ever, I don't feel like, been a question about Embiid as a player. Not even just in terms of, his potential is great. Whenever he plays, everyone's like, that dude is awesome.
Yes,
right now,
both ends of the floor.
He's awesome right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The problem is, the operative word there is whenever he plays, right? The problem is he doesn't always play. No. And so what happened is you have him missing games because he doesn't do back-to-backs. Mm-hmm. Then you have him missing games because of back tightness, which results from playing 49 minutes. He's never played that many minutes in a game. He plays that in a triple overtime game against...
Well, he was already lying down during some of those breaks in that game.
Yep.
Like, I remember watching that game and everyone, the takeaway was like, oh, Embiid's so great, Embiid's so great. And you're like, well, I don't like it. He's lying down like Larry Bird.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was like, come on,
like
man.
Steve Nash and Larry Bird.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, this is bad.
So that's going to be the story of the Sixers, really, in terms of who they are as a franchise for the next however many years, right? Is he healthy enough? Are we managing his minutes enough? Are we managing his situation enough? But then beyond that, you got to remember, this is a really young team. So take away his brilliance. Even though Simmons is awesome, this guy's still a rookie. There are a lot of young players on this team, so they haven't. This is their first time at the rodeo. This is the first time playing meaningful games in December.
Well, you make a good point about like the next few years are going to be about how available is Embiid.
Yep.
But like, let's not overlook this, which is being overlooked. They have the number 1 pick in the draft.
Yes.
On their team, not playing
right.
because of a shoulder thing, which is sort of like surrounded in secrecy.
Yes.
Like, why is Markelle Fultz not playing NBA basketball?
Because he's got this condition. And apparently, so the way it was described to me was, it's really weird. There are some things he can do. So range of motion wise, he can raise his arm up from the side of his body to all the way up in that sky. No problem. But to stop midway, that's an issue. So it's kind of really weird. It's not, it's like a little stabilizer muscle that's in there. That's all screwy. So, The other thing is, when you think about the Sixers and what's happened with their program, they've kind of got it used to having the redshirt freshmen, right?
Yep.
And they actually kind of value the redshirt freshmen.
I love the redshirt freshmen.
Right? Because now you're coming in like Ben Simmons, everyone's like, he's rookie of the year. Like, relax. He's not a rookie.
He's a rookie. We disagree on this one.
He's not a rookie. He's gone, I would say 70% of this toughness of being a rookie just in the NBA is all the other stuff. It's not the basketball. It's the scheduling, it's the travel, it's the I'm by myself for the first time with unlimited money and no one to say lights out or
also in like
homework.
A hotel room.
Yeah,
the travel, the diet, the schedule, the prep, and
the per
the
diem,
scouting, and
the per diem. They give
that.
you $1,000 in cash in an envelope at the start of a trip. Like, you've never had that before, right, in your life, and now this is the norm, right? And so that's the huge adjustment. Even practice habits, how to watch film, how to identify plays. Generic NBA says, I can't tell you how many guys we draft or have in a summer league who never heard of floppy before, who never heard of pin down actions, or like the terminology to them is foreign. So a lot of being a rookie is that adjustment. And then obviously you're actually playing against the best players in the world.
Yeah, sure.
So when you give a guy a year to watch all this stuff up close, to be exposed to the work ethic and how you're supposed to carry yourself as a professional. I don't mean like, and then you sign the autographs here. I'm talking about get up in the morning, go to the training table, come back, watch some film, get some shots up, go to practice, get some more shots up. Like that whole rhythm and routine to master that, dude, he's got a huge advantage over everybody else. And then obviously he's a great player.
What's your concern level? We'll do a concern level for each one of these teams. What's your concern level about the Sixers, not just this year, moving forward?
I would say a solid 5.
What are we doing out of 100?
5 out of 10.
Okay.
Well, it was 10-point scale.
Okay.
5 out of 10. And the only reason why is just, I don't know about his ability to stay healthy, him being Embiid. Because that's the linchpin to all this.
So you think that this franchise goes as Embiid goes?
Yes.
Well, it's funny to say that because they have Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz, Saric, Covington. They have all these other players, but you really think it is as simple as that? It will go as Embiid goes?
Simmons is probably going to be tremendous. I think, Saric might be a really high-level role player, a couple of All-Star games. I think Fultz could be tremendous. Embiid's the one, like, that's a guy. Like, right? It's the old, how do you define pornography? I don't know. I know it when I see it. Like, that dude right there, that's a dude.
Professional athletes always say, like, they can see 7th graders play, and they'll know if there's a professional there.
Yeah, I got a guy by the name of Shea Cotton that probably doesn't like that. But,
you brought up the Magic.
Yeah. Dude.
It was fun. Aaron Gordon. Remember Aaron Gordon scored like 38 against the Thunder.
Let me take you back to all the way back to the 2016-17 season. I'm gonna take this hat off, man, because this thing is driving me nuts.
You're wearing an elf hat, by the way, for you listening on the radio. He's got elf ears and wearing an elf hat.
The 2016-17 season started with Dwayne Wade on the Chicago Bulls, and the first 5 games, I think, of that year, the Bulls were the best 3-point shooting team in the league. And Dwayne Wade was shooting like 45%.
Yes, I remember.
Gabby Union proudly proclaimed he was in the gym all summer long. Of course he's hitting threes now. And then regression to the mean happened. Because we know the Bulls, there's no way they were the best 3-point shooting team. And we know Dwayne Wade, there's no way he's shooting 40% from 3. And life came around fast, and they went back to where they should have been in their hierarchy of things, right? Same thing with Orlando. They started this year, Aaron Gordon and Elfrid Payton, and all these non-shooters became amazing shooters. Well, that changes the way you got to guard them. But the moment that shot goes away, we never really believed in you. So as soon as you miss a couple, now defenses are adjusting. The way they were up on you, giving you all that room to attack, hard closeouts, now they're not closing out so hard. So now the offense gets harder. So now you're not as good as a team. And that's, that's to be expected. When you see people, that's my whole thing. When you see someone who's a non-shooter come out the gates blazing, give it some time.
Just give it some time.
Give it some time. And you know what? I might get burnt in the short
that
term.
Happens. Like, remember, Marcus Gasol over the summer developed a 3-point shot. Like, this happens.
You get, sometimes you get burnt. Sometimes you get burnt because it's real. Mm-hmm. So Kawhi Leonard was a non-shooter in college.
Yes.
Came to the NBA, his first year shot 37.5. That whole year I was like, let's see if he can keep it up. Well, guess what? He's kept it up.
More often than not, they're not going to keep it up.
Right. More often than not, they won't.
I just want to talk about the Grizzlies a little bit because they were hot. Do you remember they started like 5-2?
But that was,
or it was like 8-3 or something.
That was the smallest. Like
it was still like October. It was like Halloween.
Yeah.
But still, it was like, oh, the Grizzlies. Like, how are they getting this done? Fizdale, coach of the year, and now he's here at the LAPC.
Man, I never had confidence in that team being able to keep it up. Not because of the coaching. Coach Fizz is awesome, but because of personnel. Like their best player is really old. Their other best player is hurt, and the rest of their team are a bunch of nondescript dudes, really.
And Chandler Parsons.
Like I said, the rest of their team is a bunch of nondescript.
Chandler Parsons.
The rest of their team is a bunch of nondescript dudes.
But not necessarily positive. Not a positive description. He is descript. And then I want to flip it with the Bulls, who... they certainly had worst team in the league on, it was on the table. It was on the table, and then Mirotic comes back and they win 8 in a row.
But see, here's the thing. See, I'm going to fight you on this one, right? Because here's the thing. Before Mirotic's face got rearranged, we said this is the worst team in the league. Like in August and September, when we're like, okay, who do you think is going to be the best team? Who do you think is going to?
There's in the Eastern Conference, you can always make a run for the playoffs when you're in September. Anyone can make the playoffs in September in the Eastern Conference.
We all knew Chicago and
the Bulls
Atlanta
weren't even trying to make a run for it. Yes.
Chicago and Atlanta were like, those are the two worst teams in the NBA, right? And so, yes, then Mirotic gets his face blown up, and they fulfill our expectations of being terrible. Mirotic coming back is not like, oh, they just acquired Paul George or Kawhi. They got a dude that was already on the roster when we already thought this is the worst collection of talent.
Fair.
And then you look at who they've beaten, and I was like, well, who have they beaten? They beaten Boston. They beaten Utah. They beaten Philadelphia. They beaten a bunch of teams that we expect to be playoff teams. Like the two real cupcake wins they had was the first one, which was I think against Charlotte, which still isn't really a cupcake win, and the last one, which is Orlando. And every other team in there in that mix is a playoff team. So you say to yourself, what's going on? So I look at the lineups. Do you know that every lineup that has Nikola Mirotic and Bobby Portis on the floor at the same time?
I love this.
Is a positive net rating.
I love this.
Not just like a +5 per 100 possessions. These guys like +40 per 100 possessions, +17 per 100 possessions. Is it small sample size theater? Yes.
Here's what I want to see as a television producer. I want to see a parody video of Bobby Portis and Nikola Mirotic doing the Magic Johnson Isaiah Thomas thing. I just want to see that. I want the same exact beats. I want them to cry. I want them to do the exact same thing.
They haven't talked?
Of course. They haven't spoken?
To this point.
That's brilliant. Keep it moving needs no explanation. If you want to talk about it, we hit the brakes. If you don't, we keep it moving. LeVar Ball launched a website for the JBA.
Hit the brakes. Break me right now.
Let's take a listen to LeVar Ball talking about his latest project.
You now know the big baller has created his own league. And you tell me I ain't looking toward the future? Yes, I am. I'm doing something that should have been done a long time ago, giving these guys what they worth. And like I said, the JBA is a heck of a league. And for you haters out there, keep doing what you've been doing. Nothing. So keep doing what you're doing, and we're going to keep building this empire.
So, he's going to keep building the empire while we keep doing what we're doing. What do you think about the future of the JBA? I thought it was JBL.
That's a radio. That's a headphone company.
Oh,
JBL.
right. Oh, okay.
Look, I've supported LeVar Ball on a lot of different things. The idea of obviously coming out with your own shoe.
Love that.
I got that, right?
Loved it.
The idea of pulling his son
and
homeschooling him.
Because
my whole thing was like, this happens hundreds of thousands of times all across the country. We don't make a big deal of it. People homeschool their kids all the time. So like my thing about this is a bad idea. And just because I don't agree with this idea doesn't mean I hate LeVar Ball, I'm a hater or whatever. I'm just saying it's a dumb idea for one simple reason. What he's proposing already exists. A league where you can go straight out of high school and get paid
to play professional basketball in America domestically. That sounds a lot like
the G League.
The G League.
And I just don't understand why people aren't getting that part.
It's also very difficult to start a basketball league. It's very difficult to start a professional basketball league. Just because you started a website, that's easy to do. Actual basketball league, hard to do. But I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, LeVar. Seahawks were fined 100 racks for violating the concussion protocol. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
I feel like what you just said is football team does football things. Keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
We be moving, you know, we keep it moving.
LeBron James was mic'd in his win with the Cavs over the Bulls. We have some sound of him hitting a big shot at the end of the game.
I think we're going to tap on them brakes.
Let's hit the brakes.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
What doesn't matter exactly? The defense doesn't matter?
The defense doesn't matter.
The defense doesn't matter?
Yeah.
Well, it seems like it forced him into a baseline fadeaway. You know, it seems like it forced him into a tough shot. Yeah. I guess it doesn't matter. One thing that always baffles me about the National Basketball Association, we spend so much time on what these players eat and how much they rest, and there's professionals on professionals to make their bodies tuned perfectly. Why do we give them tiny little baby seats to sit in for 2 hours every day?
Dude, the bench.
Like, this makes no sense.
Yeah.
Can we get some bigger seats for these players, please? They're 6'9".
You know why we can't? Because every extra inch you give them to be more comfortable, that's less real estate that we can sell to someone for a lot of money.
We be moving, you know, we keep it moving.
Next, in London, a rage room is offering Londoners a place where they can get out their Christmas rage by smashing things. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Oh, I'm so angry I have to break something. Keep it moving.
We be moving, you know, we keep it moving.
A man took a large quantity of MDMA and then stole a boat. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Oh, I hit the brakes on that one.
The Orlando Police Department in Florida say that Kyle Thurston took a swan-shaped boat out on Lake Eola in the middle of the night, reaching a fountain. And then what happened is the police stopped him, and he said, I stole the boat because the swans don't judge me.
What? Yo, how is that not awesome?
Is that a Billy Madison reference?
No,
I'm not like a big movie reference guy.
I am,
but I think it might be. But swans do not seem like judgy animals. You know what I mean?
Quite the opposite.
They seem to be down for whatever. Just don't bother me. I won't bother you. You keep it moving on your side. I'll keep moving on my side.
They're very aggressive animals.
They can be if you
mess with them.
But it's like they don't start it, but they will finish it.
There you go.
Moving right along, LeBron had something to say about Isaiah Thomas's attitude. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
I don't really care much. Keep it moving.
We be moving, you know, we keep it moving.
Finally, we have this news. A tool was taken away from NFL referees. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes. What tool would this be?
NFL referees have been notified that they can no longer use index cards to measure whether or not it was a first down. How are we going to find out anymore? How do we even know if it's a first down? There's a yellow line. There's the chains.
I guess we're just guessing from now on.
I guess we're just going to figure it out and just eyeball it. That's not how this works.
That sounds scientific, NFL.
Someone on Reddit has changed bowl games. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
I guess we'll hit the brakes.
Okay. Florida State is in a bowl.
Okay.
But someone on Reddit did the research and found out that they're actually not bowl eligible because one of their wins. I don't like follow-up questions. It's one of the rules of this show because I don't really have the information because you were supposed to keep it moving on this one. But because one of their wins was against like Temple, who didn't have enough wins themselves, like there's certain qualifications and boxes you need to check to be bowl eligible.
Is this guy like the equivalent of the golf person who calls in?
It's that guy.
Shut up, guy.
Exactly.
Get out of here.
Do you know why Florida State is going to be in this bowl? Do you want to know why? Let me tell you how it works. Because they got a lot of alumni. They're very passionate about their football program. And sure, like maybe, the TCU Horned Frogs should have been in there instead, but the TCU Horned Frogs aren't going to get the same number that FSU is going to get. That's the way it works. Follow the money.
Cash money.
Follow the money. And Reddit guy?
Yeah, stop snitching.
Stop snitching.
Come on.
Exactly. We have some Hall of Fame candidates in the National Basketball Association. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
Oh, I got to hit the brakes on that one.
Chauncey's not here, right?
Is he
here?
No, he's here.
Is he in the building?
Yeah, I think he is. He's doing countdown.
Is he listening?
He probably is.
I don't think he's going to get in the Hall of Fame this time.
What?
I'm not so sure.
Oh, no.
I don't play the Hall of Fame game.
Look,
for me, everybody can get in. I don't even care.
Look, here's the thing. You look at the accolades, right? And he's not only a champion and a finals MVP, but also, I think it's 5 or 6 time All-Star and also a gold medal on the World Championship team. Remember, that counts. It's the Basketball Hall of Fame, not the NBA Hall of Fame. So then, when you look at his numbers, basketball-reference.com does a great thing. It's called the Hall of Fame probability meter. It just looks at your NBA numbers and say, based on everyone else in there, he's got an 85% chance to be a Hall of Famer based on his numbers alone.
What about Rip?
Rip might be tough on the first game. Even though, remember, he won a championship in college. He's 1999 most outstanding player of the NCAA tournament.
College championship is something.
It counts.
It's
counts.
something.
But I think he's a little
Was he
less.
ever the first option on a team that he played on?
No. I mean, you could argue probably Detroit. He was.
No. He
led them in scoring.
Yeah. That's fair. So. That's fair, but they had like Sean Prince
it was
and Ben Wallace and
it was an egalitarian
it was very much a system. It wasn't like, we're going to give the ball to Rip and get out of the way.
Rip might be tough. Rip on the first try.
We know Jason Kidd's in. We know Steve Nash is in. We know Ray Allen's in. We know Grant Hill's in.
So a lot of people always question me like, really? I'm like, yeah, man, when you see the whole resume.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I want Chauncey to be in just because he works here.
Here's the thing. There's some guys who didn't make it on the first go. Mm-hmm. Ben Wallace. Specifically. You think Ben Wallace gets in?
No.
Why not?
Because he's Ben Wallace.
Dennis Rodman got in. Dikembe Mutombo got in. Ben Wallace doesn't get in?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
It's a guy who first of all, as an undersized player.
Score.
So it's the Hall of Scoring. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what? It's true. Look, Jacoby, you're right. As the saying goes, scoring wins championship.
Yeah. Scoring wins championships.
I don't know.
It does. It really does.
I feel like Ben Wallace was elite impact on the game
for 3 years.
For more than 3 years. This guy was one of the best defensive players in the league for like
3 years.
No, more than 3 years, man.
3 years.
More than 3 years. You're shortchanging the guy. Guy was dominant.
I realize when it comes to Hall of Fame conversations, I become very negative. I become very negative.
And exemplifies everything that we say, what we teach kids. This is how you play the game the right way. He does it the right way. Like, you didn't get enough buckets. Come on, man.
We have one simple motto that we try to live by on this program. Part of giving people what they want is opening up our 1-800-Flowers Twitter feed, taking questions from you, our listeners. As I mentioned, this is the last segment of the radio show. Now, don't get freaked out. Jalen and I will still be recording our weird brand of content every single weekday until we get fired or canceled. Starting first week of January 3rd, we're back. And then we will never give up our spot, and we will always give you a dope pod to step to. We will just no longer be airing on ESPN Radio between 7 and 9. But we have some very big things planned that we will announce that first week of January. Also, very fitting that you're here and Jalen's not here. You know what I mean? Because you've been on this show, what, like 3 times?
More than that.
You've paid more attention and done more preparation than Jalen has in 6 years. You know? So, Amin is here, and we have some questions. This is a great question from G. Wills.
Shout out.
Is eggnog cultural? Genuinely curious, he says. We've addressed this.
Yeah. Given that today was the first time I've ever had eggnog, then that pretty much says
what were
yes.
your impressions?
I liked it.
Pretty good. You ever had rum? Get some rum in there.
No, I just
throw a
had
little rum in there.
it
was like 11 in the morning taping a show, yeah. But throw a little rum in there. You'd enjoy it.
Okay. I liked it. It was delightful.
Next, working on Christmas, soft move or boss move? Working is always a boss move. Yep. No one volunteers working Christmas. You get time and a half.
Unless the boss tells you got to come into work.
Yeah.
In which case,
you get time and a half. You get free stuff. Like, people always respect when you work on Christmas. You know?
I had like a 3-year span where I worked every single day of the year. I didn't have a single day off. Like 3 straight years. No, 3 straight years, dude. I'm not saying every day was a 9 to 5 day. I'm saying I went into work every single day.
We've all had those work days. I've had work days where I just surfed the internet, ate lunch, surfed the internet, and went home.
That's work, though.
You know, that's not work.
You came into work.
That's not work.
Into work.
That's not. I've had work days where it's like 4:30, then I've just been like, I didn't accomplish anything today. I ate lunch.
I feel like that's everyone's job, though.
Yeah, it's like, I didn't really do anything.
Ain't nobody moving mountains
like,
every
if
day.
anybody audited what I did today, if they came, it's like, Jacoby, like, what did you do today? We're going to look at your email account, we're looking at your browser history, we're going to really, like, dig into, like, what you accomplished today. I'd be like, let's not do that today. I've had very busy days, 20-hour days where I did a million things.
Look, it all evens out.
It all comes in ebbs and flows. What is the correct, this is from the Infinite one, what is the correct percentage to tip if you are only drinking beer? Okay.
Oh.
So you're at a bar.
Okay.
And you're not doing cash.
Yeah.
I would say $2 a drink or $1 a drink. Whichever one you prefer if you're paying cash at a bar.
That's cash at a bar. Once it goes to credit card.
But now you're going credit card. It gets a little different here.
It depends on how many you've had.
This is a great question.
Right.
So let's give me a hypothetical. I often thought about this. Because when I get a piece of paper and I've ran my credit card, I tip based on percentages. When I'm paying cash at an adult establishment, a bar, not that kind of adult establishment, not adult entertainment, just an adult beverage establishment, I tip per drink, so $1 or $2 per drink. Yep. So you're actually going to get more from me if I don't tip you per drink.
Yep.
If I tip you from the card,
depends on how expensive the drinks are.
Okay.
So beers is a great question.
Let's say they're $6 beers.
Yeah, $6 beers.
You've had 4.
If you give them $2 on the $6 in cash, that's 33%. That's actually a really good tip.
Exactly. But if it's $24, I might just give you $6 tip.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying.
And that's going to get you to 30.
Yeah.
It's going to get you to 30.
How much have I had? It comes down to that.
I've always wondered, as a bartender, do you get the cash from the credit card tips right there and go home with it?
No, it's weird. It depends on the place.
I think it kind of like, then they can also like pool it together. I don't like it when they pool tips.
The pool tips thing, I feel like you're subsidizing some people who weren't really good at their service.
I tip less if I know you're pooling tips.
Really?
It's the same way, like when I tip less because I'm like, if I'll slide somebody $20 if they gave me like a free drink and like really hooked me up and were really nice. I'll be like, here's $20. But instead, I'm like, here's $20, and he's like, okay, he or she is like, I'll put that in this big bucket, and then we'll all divvy it up. And end up giving a $2.10 tip to
here's the thing,
8 people.
You are right now.
My math is bad.
Exhibiting tremendous privilege. Because you've just said for great service, but you figure out they're pulling the tips, you'll tip less. I don't have that privilege. I can't tip less. The only time I can tip less is when the service was tremendously awful.
Well, I'm a great tipper.
I know.
Generally.
But if you were to not be a great tipper for one day of your life, it's fine. I don't tip well for one day of my life, that's an issue. Because now I told you they don't tip well. The thing.
Race thing.
Yeah, it's cultural.
Oh.
When you're
You'll
black.
never believe this? I've never been black. Not even for a second. Don't understand that fully.
Yeah.
Don't fully understand that experience. My girlfriend thinks macaroni is a specific type of pasta, and my whole family says the words macaroni and pasta are interchangeable.
No.
They mean the same thing. Can you settle this debate for us?
Your girlfriend is
correct
and cultured and probably pronounces bruschetta the right way.
Oh, please.
Just saying.
Oh, please.
Just saying.
Please. My wife is making macaroni and cheese for Christmas Eve. More excited for that than any present that I could possibly get. I mean, she doesn't like mix flour and egg to make the pasta, but yes, she makes the best mac and cheese I've ever had.
Really?
She doesn't listen to the show, so I don't have to like kiss up to her or anything. Yeah, she never listens to the show, so she will not hear this. Yeah. But we call it crack and cheese. She uses 6 different cheeses. There's all kinds of secret. There's like mustard in there.
How many kinds of cracker in there?
There's celery juice or something. No, it's like a celery soup thing. Dude, don't be skeptical about this.
Yeah.
Don't be skeptical about this. It is so good.
Can you save some and bring some in?
No.
Okay.
I'm not saving any and bringing any in.
Can I get an invite?
Are you going to be here?
I'll be here Christmas night.
Oh, maybe they're not going to be leftover. Not from the crack and cheese. Definitely not from the crack and cheese. One more question from Twitter. This is from Travis. Working out on Christmas, soft move or boss move?
We did that one. Working on Christmas, soft move or boss?
Working out.
Oh, working out.
Working out on Christmas.
No.
I'll tell you what.
You're coming on deaf ears here.
I'll tell you what. I worked out on Thanksgiving. It was brilliant.
Before or after?
Before. Gives you a little bit of now I can just gorge myself on 4,000 calories. Reg, you think I'm going to lie about that? Reg, you think I'm going to lie about working on Christmas, Reg? Come on, Reg. It was yoga, but it was a workout. It was hot yoga.
See, there it is.
It was hot yoga.
It all comes out.
It was hot yoga. That's a workout. That's a workout.
No, so you sit with your leg up in there. Great job. Way to really strain yourself.
All right, you come to this yoga class. We'll see if you make it through the 60 minutes. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Cake. I think working on a Christmas is a boss move. Anytime you know you're about to really just treat your body poorly, treat your body well beforehand.
No, I just treat my body how I want it to be treated.
If you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us voicemails. If you leave us voicemails, we'll play them on the show.
Thought this was the last show, though.
This is the last show. Good point.
Hey, Jalen. It's Tony from South Florida calling again. Man, I just want to know what's up with my Miami Heat. What's it going to take us to get back to elite competition? Seems like we're, locked in with Dion, James Johnson and them boys for the next 4 years. What's it going to take? Maybe a trade? Maybe letting go of Dragic? Whiteside? Hey, let me know. Give the people what they want. Shout out Reg. Shout out Jacoby. One.
Thank you for the call, Tony. The Heat are one of those teams where you don't talk about being bad and you don't talk about being good. You don't really talk about them that much.
Let me just start with one thing. First of all, the guy's been in the league 10 years. This is 10th year.
Who, Tony from South Florida?
Dragic.
Oh, Dragic.
Dragic,
yes,
like
yes,
dragon,
yes.
but with an itch at the end.
I understand.
You're
it's
10.
Hard.
We're still going to.
But Vlade Divac, remember that?
Again, I never understood that one. It's Divac. Like
it's Divac. I don't know why. I think it was a different era. For Vlade's time, it was just like whatever it looks like. We're
we
going
have
to
the
say
internet
that.
now, so this one can't.
Dragic.
He's not a rookie. It's
Dragic.
Yeah. So, Miami was a team that was constructed to be successful only when they wildly overachieve because the fist is mightier than five fingers, right? This isn't a team of stars, right?
I do remember someone constructed and inhabited Heat Island.
I did.
I do remember that.
Yes,
I do remember that.
Yeah.
It was like one of those Netherlands places where you just you can drudge all the land together to create an island. You know how they do that? I think they do that in the Netherlands.
Yeah, they do that in Dubai a lot.
Yeah, you did
also.
that off of Florida.
Yeah.
And you constructed it and you built Heat Island.
Yeah.
So Tony's calling because he's a Heat fan. So let's be positive about the Heat. What do they have?
Well, this is what they have, right? So this is, and I'm going to sound like a total shill here, but their slogan is culture. And that's not just a slogan like "run with us" or whatever.
We've all heard it, yeah.
But like they're really about that life, right? Where you come to Miami, you either do it Pat Riley's way,
the right way.
The Pat Riley way. I don't know if it's right. There's a lot of different ways to do things, but you're going to do it their way, or you're not going to be here anymore, right? And to the point where Dwayne Wade is not there anymore because they're like, hey, if it doesn't fit the way what our culture wants, then even the greatest player in franchise history got to go, right? The biggest issue is, if you look at the person with the biggest drop-off, it's Dion Waiters, Josh Richardson, Tyler Johnson. Those are three guys who, from last year to this year, aren't playing as well as
Tyler Johnson's a good point, too, because he was kind of playing over his skis last year.
Right.
It's one of those regression to the mean things. You're like, is Tyler Johnson the future of the league? Like, probably not, but he's kind of playing like it for the last few games.
But I also don't think he's as bad as he was this year. So the truth is somewhere in the middle. And so, but the biggest one obviously is Dion Waiters because this is a guy who led them in scoring or was very close last year.
At the end of the season.
And was pretty much their main offensive dynamo. Now, he has an ankle issue that was not addressed in the offseason. He tried to address it with rest and rehab, and that didn't work. He needed surgery. He didn't get surgery, but now it's too late because now the season started, so you got to play on it. So he's just not who he was physically a year ago. But there's also a part of it where we have to say Dion Waiters was a guy who was 32% shooting threes, and then last year he shot like 39%. Is that the real Dion Waiters, or was that just
Probably
a blip on the radar?
So probably not.
Because now he's shooting back to 32%.
Do you still look at the Heat as a free agency destination?
Yes, because beyond the zip code, I think Pat Riley, like his sales pitch is bulletproof. Like people come here and they experience the best years of their life, their career. And it's not because of great sun and surf. It's because of our culture and we get the most out of you. You're going to be in the best shape. You're going to be the most disciplined player. You're going to be the smartest player possible because you're going to be learning the way we do things defensively and all that. You know, they stick to their principles very much. So, yes, from that standpoint. Now, obviously, the drop a bag of rings on the table thing doesn't hurt either.
Sure.
Right? I've done this because that's one thing about.
I don't think they have championship expectations at this point.
No,
if you're a free agent and Pat Riley, I don't think he's dropping the rings on the table now.
No. But the idea again is, eventually I want to be in championship contention, right? So if you're Pat Riley, say, look, I built a winner not once, but twice, right?
Three times?
Well, I mean,
sure.
But the difference, I'm talking about take it from scratch and rebuild it up, right?
Yes.
They've done this, and they've said championship contender several times, right? Because you had Alonzo and Timmy, and then that was falling apart.
So it's hard to say he built the Lakers. So it's very,
I'm going Miami
yeah.
as an exec. He had Alonzo and Timmy, then that era ended, and they burnt it to the ground, and they came back with Dwayne Wade, a bunch of young guys, and then Shaq, and they won one, and then they burnt it to the ground, and then it was Dwayne Wade and some young guys, and they cleared out some cap space and brought LeBron, and they won it, and they burnt it to the ground, and so he's like, I do it over and over again. It's not just me riding Tim Duncan's coattails for 20 years, right? It's me doing over and over
Those
again.
Popovich shots?
No,
I like it. I like it.
He'd be the first one to say it, too.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
You don't think
I don't
so?
think he would be the first one to say that. I don't think so.
Maybe the second. I'm the first.
I don't think he's going to say that, to be honest with you. I did say if you call 9580-JALEN, you can call and leave us messages, and we'll play them on the show. Here's the thing. The show's not going anywhere, I mean. I'm going to tell you, but really telling our listeners. We will still have a show every single day, Monday through Friday. We will always leave you with a dope podcast to step to.
The future.
In 2018, we have bigger and better things planned for this program. And we will never, ever, 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 ever leave you without a Monday through Friday dope pod to step to. So if you call 9580-JALEN, you can still leave us voicemails, and you will still hear them early in the new year. Right now, we're going to listen to one right here. Reg?
Couple things. Not going to give my name. Shout out Reg. Hopefully I finally get on. I've been calling every day to see if this question will get answered. Christmas cards. Are they cultural? I need to know. Just got married, and these things just start showing up in my house. Never seen them before. As Jalen would say, people that look like me have never received these things in the mail. But my wife is of the Caucasian persuasion, and they keep showing up. I want to know if that's cultural. Second thing, will Derrick Rose be the first MVP to not get in the Hall of Fame? I'm like Jacoby. I don't do any research, so I don't even know if there are MVPs that are not in the Hall of Fame. I just assume if you win a Hall of Fame, win an MVP, you get into the Hall of Fame. So help me out with that. And I also want to know, is Barron the guy that didn't want his name to be said? Let me know. I'm a person.
Thank you so much for the call. You are indeed a person. I appreciate your tone. It was a little angry. He's like, I'm not going to give my name.
Yeah, that was a little.
You know, and he seemed a little angry at the Christmas cards. I love this caller.
No,
Please call back. He was angry because he didn't get on the show. That's what it was. Like, this is like the fourth time he called. He's like, I've spent my time on this, dialing this stupid number, leaving the thing. And we all know what Reggie does. Reggie just picks the first four that he likes and then doesn't listen to the rest of them.
The first four that he likes. I thought he was the first four.
No, not the first. He'll listen to them. Like he hasn't started mailing it in that far yet. That's like next year. In 2018, he'll start mailing it in. But he definitely, once he gets 4 or 5, let's say there's 50 voicemails.
Right.
He'll listen to the first 10, pick his favorite 4 or 5. Then those other 40 voicemails never get listened to.
Even if they're fire. They might be fire.
Exactly. Who knows who calls in? Barack Obama could have called and left a voicemail. We have no idea.
You're not taking demos, huh? Just throwing a demo out.
But I do want to say this. Great question.
Yeah.
Are Christmas cards cultural? Obviously, you don't need it to explain to you what we mean by that.
Yes.
You listen to the show, you're familiar.
Yes.
There's cultural and there's regional and there's regional cultural.
No,
Are Christmas cards cultural?
Definitely cultural.
I think they're cultural as well.
Definitely cultural. Especially,
I think they're cultural
especially the Christmas card that comes with a photo shoot.
Yes.
The family photo shoot.
Yes.
Like that one? Nah, man.
I gotta say something. I said this to my wife. There's like 2 Christmas cards on the mantle this year. We had like 15, 16 last year. I think they might be falling out of favor.
Finally?
I think in the digital world, people stop putting stamps on stuff.
Do they email, though?
I did get an emailed Christmas card. I've gotten a couple of those, which I appreciated. I look at an email, I look at it for a second. I don't have to put it up on the mantle and look at it and then throw it away later. Like, it's all going to end up in the trash.
I went to the post office with my mom earlier this week, because she was trying to send some stuff. And the people in line, it was like they're running some sort of pyramid scheme. Like just stacks and boxes, like Lego boxes filled with just cards. And to the point where they throw them in the mailbox, that little door handle thing.
Yeah.
It got stuck because it was just choked.
It's crazy.
Choked with all of these cards. And I'm just like, really?
I think we're nearing the point where someone needs to take a hard look at the mail system and say, yeah, we don't need this anymore. What percentage of envelopes that come to your home are of value? Yeah. What percentage of envelopes
that I actually care about and that aren't bills or
bills, something that you need, but bills you can get digitally as well.
Yes, bills you get digitally. I would say, when you get a new credit card,
that's one's good. Or get a replacement. The East Bay catalog, they used to be a big deal to me when I was 14. When I was 14, the East Bay catalog was everything. But one reason that we need the mail system, especially here in the United States of America, for Big Crown. Big Crown is one of our followers on Twitter. He's the greatest mail carrier of all time. And I can't live in a world where I get a bunch of extra mail, but we need to keep Big Crown employed. He might really have to become
Can we get him more efficient shots? How about that? Like, why are we talking about keeping his volume up? Can we get him more efficient?
Yes. He's a volume shooter right now, and maybe we don't have to do away with the post office system, but perhaps we should just scale all the way back.
First and foremost,
if you don't write on the outside of the card, I'm not saying it anywhere.
There has to be an opt-out option. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair. I think that's really fair.
The other thing is also, as long as we understand there's no reciprocity, right?
I don't know what that means.
It means I don't have to do it back.
Oh, yeah.
You send me these cards.
For sure.
Cool.
Oh, for sure. I want to thank Amin El Hassan for coming by and sitting in for Jalen Rose as we head into the holidays. I want to wish everybody watching a happy holidays. I want to thank everyone that worked with us on ESPN Radio. Our ESPN Radio show will not continue, but we will always continue giving a dope pod to step to and a television show every night in 2018.